we already now know that the intended nationally determined contributions, the targets that the different countries have put forward before Paris, will not be sufficient to keep climate change in check. They do not deliver the 2 degrees on their own, and it would not be realistic to expect that that would happen as such. And that's why we need to have the dynamism that allows us to regularly revisit the aggregate level of ambition and up the game, go further, do more. Technological breakthroughs and policies as implemented, becoming more cost effective, do have huge potential for doing more. The challenge beyond 2020 is enormous. We saw previous speakers speak of trillions. I completely subscribe to that, but majority of that funding is not going to come from the limited official development assistance sources. Those funds can be very useful, they can lever, they can catalyze funding, but main transformational investment and shift needs to come from the energy sector, needs to come from the infrastructure investment. It needs to become, it has to be a real paradigm shift in the way we think, and businesses and private sector have a key role to play. That's why Paris needs to deliver this confidence and clarity of determination by governments that this is where we are now, we accept it, this is where we want to go, and here is our plan. That's why also the notion of having an intermediate national trajectory for 2050 is so key, because to an investor whose factory has a 30 to 40 year life expectancy, if you only have a 2100 goal, so say carbon neutrality in 2100, it doesn't relate to today's profit choices. But if you put the milestone, the yardstick, a little bit closer to today's investment reality, it becomes more meaningful. You can't fight climate without fighting poverty, and you can't fight poverty without fighting climate. If you consider any development project, any kind of activity ongoing in the developing world today, you have to factor in climate consideration, be it about the roads, be it about agriculture, be it about health, or be it about education. There are opportunities and there are also needs for factoring climate in. We certainly put a lot of emphasis for a fair, ambitious and legally binding agreement that would contain targets to all parties. All countries must act. This is not about developing countries doing this and developed countries doing that. It is about everyone acting in accordance to their capabilities.